Did y'all hear? Umar Johnson called black kids stupid.
They're intellectually disabled. They're emotionally disturbed.
His conversation about charter schools being a way to destroy black community.
Because charter schools were founded by white folks who wanted to separate their kids from black children but couldn't afford the private school.
I only have one question for you, Umar. Do they close down the charter schools after they've gotten rid of black people? Did y'all hear? Umar Johnson called black kids. Oh, you think I'm lying? Okay. Hey, look. You got to hear it from the horse's mouth. Probably not a horse. You got to hear it from his mouth yourself. And you can tell me if we heard wrong or if we're just typically too strong stretching. Listen.
Charter schools don't improve grades. They engineer the student population so it appears that the school is doing better when you're only bringing in better students.
All right. Okay. Now we have to have a discussion. We do. Okay. I know for a fact that this man loves to sound ultra intelligent. And let me back up just a tad. Let me back up and then come talk to you again. Listen, what you're going to hear in this next segment is not going to be kind words. I want to be straightforward with you. I'm not going to be here speaking about Umar in a positive light. Why? There's not a whole lot positive to say about Umar Johnson, except for the fact I positively know that he does not like black people. I positively know this. Why? Because he called y'all He called black people. How can anyone say they're for the black experience, for black upliftment, and then in all of your wisdom utter the words, they got better students? So you're not good enough. Huh? And all of it, mind you, is by merit of your skin, not your performance. He's linking everything. I was a total Freudian slip. I'm sorry. What he's doing is he's linking everything to race. Linking everything to race. You don't get this because you're white. You don't get that because you're black. You got this because you're white. You got that because you're black.
And for the past 3 years, not a single black child passed the 8th grade math assessment in that school in the state of Ohio. And for no 8th grader to have passed that math test, what is that telling you? It tells you that it doesn't matter how much money you pay white teachers to educate black boys, they're not going to do it right.
And if you listen to the whole interview, I commend you, first of all, because you've done something that most people cannot suffer through. But if you make it through the whole interview, you will find contradiction after contradiction after contradiction. Why? Because he doesn't believe what he's saying. Umar Johnson does not believe anything he is saying. He knows it'll get him views, though. He knows it'll get him traction, and he knows that he will anger people. He knows how to stir up the pot. And if you watch how he speaks, it's intentional. Watch how he speaks. He's a very like this all of the time. Why? That's to gain your attention. This distracts you from what's actually coming out of his mouth. But it also makes you think that what he's saying has emphasis and power and strength and rights, and he knows this. I will give him this much credit. He knows how to communicate a lie. I ain't never seen nobody like him. Like I've seen politicians. They don't hold a candle to Umar Johnson. If you listen to him if you go back and listen, I'm not going to play the whole thing for you, but if you go back and watch this interview, and you are in construction, and those in construction, I want you to listen carefully to the whole interview, but mostly I want you to listen to where he talks about what repairs the school needs, and then comment on this video and tell me if it makes any sense, because I was in it. I was in construction, and I was confused. So I want you all to do that. The educators, I want you to listen to this interview. This is why I want you to listen to the interview. I want you to tell me if what he is saying bears out in reality. His conversation about charter schools being a way to destroy black community.
Because charter schools were founded by white folks who wanted to separate their kids from black children but couldn't afford the private school.
I only have one question for you, Umar. Do they close down the charter schools after they've gotten rid of black people? And if you can, please tell me one neighborhood where a charter school was put where there was predominantly black people, and all of a sudden, no more black people. I mean, this is, of course, your assessment of a charter school. I have no idea how that works because I've never seen that happen before. I mean, you say it does. But what, where? Where in anywhere on, in fact, we'd branch out, go further than America. We'll leave America and go everywhere else. Say we have charter schools all over the world. Name me one time, I just need one, Umar. Give me one time where you have seen teachers be in the amount that they can go into a neighborhood and buy up everything. What teacher makes that kind of money? They might as well be in real estate. Why are they teaching? If they're going into a neighborhood to supplant a race and just buying up all this stuff to raise where are they getting that money? It ain't from the government and it's not from charter schools. So your logic is so flawed, but you know how to convey things to piss people off. And I know who you're trying to piss off, and it doesn't take much. They're a powder keg. The volatile portion of Black America that's just on the edge all the time, that's the one that you're throwing that lit match at. And you know it's intentional. You are hoping one day to kick off a race war, and you are more than willing to watch Black people get slaughtered in the street because you won't be. You're going to be with your white friends. You like to act like you don't got them, but how else will you get them to work in your school? How did you manage that? No, you got white friends, and you're going to hang out with them when this race war kicks off that you're trying to promote. You're going to be hiding in a corner. You're not going to be at the front lines. You ain't no King Kong. No, you're Mickey Mouse. You are Mickey Mouse. And you run things in the background, and you're hoping that if you throw a stone hard enough and you break some glass, that there's going to be some kind of fight that breaks out. And I know you're going to be on TV talking about, yeah, this is what we need to do, when you ain't doing nothing. You ain't going to be on the front lines. You're not going to take a hit for nobody, but you're going to be the loudest mouthpiece. As for this school that you say you're going to try and make, bro, look, we know you're delaying. Okay, we can see it. It's as obvious as the nose is on your face. We can see that you're delaying the inevitable, that you're going to end up saying, you know what? We tried, it didn't work. We didn't get enough money. Black people just don't want to see us, get ahead. And you're going to blame the same Black people that you're looking for help from. You're not going to blame white people this time. This one, you're going to blame what you call them, the coons.
You should be focusing on my message today. That's what's wrong with you coons. That is what's wrong with you coons. You love being coons.
If y'all know Umar and y'all have his ear, tell that human being that he has explaining to do to Black people. But of course, he won't come on to talk to us. You know why he won't come talk to us? Because we don't pull punches. We know a little bit more than he does. The things he talks about makes no sense, but he can spit numbers. He's like a preacher who likes to take verses and just throw them in rapid succession at you. There's another guy that does that, Geno Jennings. Yeah, he loves to just throw blah, 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 scripture, blah, 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 blah. None of it actually links together, but because he can spew it that quickly, you think, man, what a brilliant mind he is. That's Umar. He'll say 30% here and 80% there and 90% since 1960 and then 1940 and since 18. And he'll throw all kinds of dates out that have no bearings to the truth. But because of how he says it, people buy into it. Umar has no intentions of opening any school to make anybody better. He doesn't. But he's going to ask you for money, though. He loves that money.
Macklemore comes to you and says, I'm going to give you $2 million and I got 500 gay kids that I want to enroll in your school, Dr. Umar. What do you do?
He's going to have to put that check in another name. Give me that $2 million.
He loves that money. You know how to have crazy cat ladies? He's a crazy cash guy. He will collect money. He reminds me of Mr. Krabs. You ever seen Mr. Krabs? You know who Mr. Krabs is? Mr. Krabs is on SpongeBob. I used to love me some SpongeBob now. I love me some SpongeBob. Now, Mr. Krabs will do anything, even at the expense of his own employees and his own children, to make money. Sounds an awful lot like Umar. He knows exactly what buttons to push, who to talk about, and what to do to get you to open up your wallets. He knows how to touch on your heartstrings and say, I'm trying to do something for the Black diaspora. And you should never use white people, but I did. I just don't tell nobody. White people will never help you, but they'll help me.
And contractors were not kind to us, man. They ripped us off. They scammed us. They stole out the building. And I said, you know what? We may have to step outside the African-American community to get this done. So I said, let's go with some white folks. And guess what? Here we are, 90 days later, and the white contractors have gotten us to the finish line.
You see the hypocrisy here, right? If you're going to talk this bad about people, call them devils and the evil one and violent and vicious, have the balls at least to not use them to build a black school, for crying out loud. Come on. Like what? Okay, I need some intelligent feedback from you, Umar. If you hate them that much, why would you use the devil to build your school? Why would you ask Satan to come help you build a school that you say for God's people? The originals. You would use the devil for that? You want him to bring all his minions and his spirits and just leave them all hanging all over the building, huh? So I get it. So when the school fails, you can say it was because white people helped build it, right? That's going to be your excuse. I could see it. I could see you doing that. I could see you intentionally breaking the school. Of course, it's not going to work because you're going to hire people that don't know nothing. They're going to be just like you. They're going to be just as slow as you trying to teach kids, and they're going to fail at it. Then you're going to say, oh, you know what? I should have never brought them white people in to fix that school because that's the reason it failed. Oh, it's the government fault that it didn't get going. Nah. In this case, it's all you. And I understand why you won't come talk to people that are smarter than you. I get why. Because they're going to expose you for the fraud you are. The absolute fraud. Lying all the time. You ain't never done what you said you're going to do. And you live in squalor.
At gmail.com. FDMG resumes. At gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com is what we looking for. My thing is y'all need to, what happened?
But you're a doctor, right? You're a doctor. You're a wise one. I know, but I will give you this. You are wise. You're wise not to come talk to us. I'll give you that much wisdom. You are definitely smart enough to not come talk to Too Strong. Because when we would be done with you, you'd denounce that title of doctor. And by the time you're done with us, you'd be admitting this school was never going to take off. In your own interview, you dogged LeBron. I thought you can't talk down about black people.
And no disrespect to my brother LeBron James, because I respect him. Mm-hmm. You know, black man, black wife, black children, great father. I respect him. You know, but he is the face of that Akron public school that bears his name. And for the past 3 years, not a single black child passed the 8th grade math assessment in that school in the state of Ohio.
So that you're not down with LeBron. Oh, his school don't have a high graduation rate. That's because, you know, he paying the money, but, you know, you got white people working for him. So LeBron's a sellout now, huh? Hey, LeBron, did you hear that? Umar Johnson thinks you're a sellout because your school ain't doing well. Meanwhile, he don't have a school, mind you. He don't have one at all. You got one. You said you'd build it, and it's up, right? Yeah, what's Umar got? 8 years later? Nothing? Yeah, just like his house. Nothing. Umar ain't got nothing. He ain't about doing nothing. If there ever was a shameless grifter in this world, it'd be Umar Johnson. And there's nothing doctor about him, nor is there anything pan-African about him. The man has no roots anywhere. Got one of the whitest names out there. But he's quick to talk about people. Y'all might think this was a roast session, but a roast is only a roast if it ain't true. Everything I said about Umar is true. 1 billion times over. But if y'all like him, y'all like him. I just know I can see through a lie. And Umar is a walking, talking lie.